Hello and welcome to the DSR Daily. I'm David Rothkopf, joined as I regularly am by Riley Fessler. How are you, Riley?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Not bad for a Monday. And Minna Stein. How are you, Minna?
Not bad for a Monday.
Yeah, particularly a rainy, cold, nasty Monday in Washington, D.C. Minna, what do you have to start us off?
Israel has announced plans to double its population on the Golan Heights, which it captured from Syria in 1967 and later annexed, citing security concerns amid ongoing threats from Syria. The Israeli government approved an $11 million plan to encourage growth in the area, which currently has 31,000 Israeli settlers and 24,000 Druze residents. This move has been condemned by several Arab nations, including Saudi Arabia and the UAE, as a deliberate annexation of Israel's expansion of Israel's occupation, while the Syrian rebel leader rejected Israeli actions. He emphasized Israel's priority of reconstruction and diplomatic resolutions over further military confrontations.
Well, certainly, Israel is in a mood for annexations at the moment. I think once Trump gets in, you're going to see a green light being given to the Israelis, and I think the Israelis are going to take advantage of it. I think annexing the West Bank is in order. I think populating northern Gaza is in order. I think doing everything up to and possibly including annexing that is in order. Israel sees this as a moment of great strength, and Netanyahu sees this as a chance of building his legacy. This has led, of course, to brutality in Gaza, in Lebanon, and more recently in Syria. At the same time as Israel trying to, take care of legitimate security concerns, those concerns are somewhat diminished with the defeat of Hamas and Hezbollah and the departure of the Assad government. But that will not slow down the appetite to use this moment as a chance to reset the Middle East. Whether it also undermines Israel's ability to normalize with its Arab neighbors, we shall see. Certainly the response from the reform government or revolutionary government in Syria is moderate and encouraging. The last thing they need, the last thing anybody needs right now is engaging in a hot conflict with the Israelis. Riley?
German Chancellor Olaf Scholz faces a confidence vote in Parliament on Monday, expected to fail and trigger early elections in February. Scholz's three-party coalition collapsed in November after he dismissed the finance minister amid disputes over economic revitalization, leading the pro-business party to quit, leaving his government without a majority. Scholz's Social Democrats trail behind center-right rival Friedrich Merz in polls, with Vice Chancellor Robert Habeck of the Greens also in the race. The far-right Alternative for Germany, polling strongly, remains isolated as other parties refuse to collaborate with it. This marks only the sixth confidence vote in Germany's post-war history.
Yeah, Scholz has been an underwhelming leader. It will not be a big surprise to see him go. What I think a lot of people will be watching is whether the AfD, the far-right party, gains strength in this election round. I think it is unnerving to many people to see a far-right party gain there, just given Germany's history. But by the same token, given the movement towards far-right parties across Europe recently, will this change Germany's stance with regard to a lot of issues? Probably not enormously if the opposition, the major opposition, wins. Although, given the difference between all Schultz and whoever follows him, it may change it to the extent that there'll actually be policies, because Schultz was kind of weak and kind of wishy-washy chancellor. Minute.
Drones flying over New Jersey have sparked growing concern and confusion across multiple states, including Pennsylvania, New York, and Ohio. Despite reassurances from federal authorities that the drones pose no security threat, their origin and purpose remain unknown, leading to calls for expanded legislation to better address drone risks. The Homeland Security Secretary and other officials are urging Congress to pass the Counter UAS Authority Security, Safety, and Reauthorization Act before existing drone countering measures expire in December. Meanwhile, drone sightings have led to disruptions in air traffic, including at Stewart International Airport and Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, but there are no signs of foreign involvement or malicious intent, according to the Pentagon.
Oh, and by malicious intent, you mean foreign malicious intent, because clearly the people who are flying the drones, undoubtedly a large percentage of them being idiot teenagers, have some kind of malicious intent. They love all the attention it's getting. It's not Martians. It's not, the invasion of the Russians or the Chinese. It's not a plan to test, the security of New Jersey, but it is an issue to be dealt with, because I think a little more regulation of how people use drones is in order, particularly given the ability that has increased dramatically in the past few years to weaponize drones, to use drones as a means of invading people's privacy, and because drones are a nuisance. So with some luck, this will trigger some more sensible legislation on this. But we'll see, because we are moving into a period over the next 4 years in which I think regulations of all sorts are going to be harder and harder to come by. Riley?
Over 120 House Democrats have urged President Joe Biden to direct the National Archivist to publish the Equal Rights Amendment, a move they argue would enshrine sex equality in the Constitution. Despite being proposed over a century ago and ratified by the required 3/4 of states, the ERA has not been certified due to a congressional deadline that expired in 1982. Led by Representatives Cori Bush and Ayanna Pressley, Democrats argue that publishing the ERA would set the stage for legal battles over its validity, challenging unresolved constitutional questions about amendment deadlines. While the Biden administration has maintained the Trump-era stance that the ERA cannot be certified, proponents highlight widespread public support and legal precedent suggesting deadlines for ratification are non-binding.
Yeah, the failure to get this ratified in time for the deadline did not reflect well on the United States. The failure to have this enshrined in the Constitution does not reflect well on the United States. That said, I think we have enough provisions in the law that we ought to be able to rest relatively confident that both sexes have equal rights in the United States. But given the period we are about to enter, perhaps that confidence is misplaced. So anything to move this forward is a good thing for the country. Anything to get this recognized as a fundamental part of our Constitution is a good thing for the United States. So it's worth a try. Minute.
GOP Senator Tom Tills warned that pressure campaigns to quickly confirm President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet nominees could backfire, creating future challenges for nominations. He expressed concerns about third-party groups raising funds through these campaigns and suggested they should allow nominees to win on their own merits. Tills also questioned the motive behind ads supporting nominees, particularly those from groups like Heritage Action, which he believes may not be serving Trump's interests. He emphasized that nominees must be prepared to answer tough, even unfair questions, drawing a comparison to the contentious 2018 Brett Kavanaugh confirmation hearings.
Look, nominees should appear before the Senate, and the Senate should vote on them. And some of these nominees are very qualified, and they should glide through the Senate. And some of these are not qualified, and they should face tough challenges. And some of them should not get confirmed. That's the way our system works. What's concerning here is that a lot of political pressure is being placed on a few senators that say, if you do challenge these people, you will be primaried. Having said that, the senators ought to respect their oath to the Constitution, respect their obligations to their constituents, and stand up for what's right, because in the long term, that's what's important for the United States. And I think in the long term, that is also probably the best path to political success. I think one thing that we should all look at when we see these different groups and these different PACs emerging, which has not really been talked about very much, is that Donald Trump is a lame duck president. He's not going to be reelected. I know people fear that, but he's going to be 82 years old in 4 years, and the Constitution's pretty explicit on this. And so what we're going to see over the course of the next several weeks and months, not to mention the next several years, is the kind of competition to lead the successor Republican Party to whatever the Trump party is. And some of these very well-funded PACs want to play a big role in that. And that's something that we need to look at quite apart from the impact that it has on the confirmation process. It's something that could be worrisome, could be constructive for some of these groups if they play a constructive role. But we do need to recognize that this is a lame duck administration, and that carries with it transitional issues that are important, and they're important starting right now. This is the beginning of the week before Christmas, I guess. And also, as it happens, the week before Hanukkah. This year, Hanukkah is the day after Christmas. We will be with you each and every day this week. Next week, Christmas week, traditionally here at the DSR Network, we provide you with our best of from the past year, and that's what we will be doing while all of our guests and hosts and everybody celebrates the holiday. And then, of course, we'll return with our regular programming right after the new year. In the meantime, we hope you'll join us throughout this week, and we hope you'll give a listen next week, because there's a lot of amazing programming this year. And if you missed some of it, it's a great chance to catch up. For now, thank you very much. Thank you, Riley. Thank you, Minna. And we'll be back with you with all of our regular programming in the hours and days ahead. Bye-bye.